I just came back from an 11-kilometer walk. This is my training for a mini hike in the Altai this summer. I am studying up on this cosmogenic testing. It's very exciting what it all consists of and why it works and how it works and all that kind of stuff. I love learning, so I'm busy doing that, but while I am doing that, I just wanted to let you know that this cosmogenic testing is really changing the face of archaeology. Like, for example, it was used to test stone tools found in 1974, 50 years ago, in southwest Ukraine, very near the border to Hungary. They were tested many times with different methods, but no agreement could be reached on the age of the stone tools. They have now been tested with a cosmogenic method that is very new and tested to be 1.4 million years old. And so, these stone tools are now the earliest found in Europe. It means people lived there 1.4 million years ago. And this actually changes our previous understanding of the way Homo erectus migrated from Africa to Europe. Previously, we thought it was through Spain, but now it looks like they came up through the Levant, that is Jordan and Syria. They came in not from the west, but from the east. This method is also used in China. China used it to date the 2.1 million year old stone tools in central China in the Lez area in Shangchen, and were the earliest found in China. But now they are the earliest no more, because the stone tools found in Xihoudu, not far from Shangchen, have been dated also with the cosmogenic method to be 2.43 million years old. Wow! Exciting! These are not only the earliest found so far, but the date 2.43 million years makes it unlikely that these people who made the stone tools had Homo erectus as their ancestor. Homo erectus is supposed to have walked out of Africa 1.8 million years ago, later than the age of these stone tools. This chart shows here with this line here is Homo erectus, who walked out of Africa 1.8 million years ago. Here, 2.1 million years. China, Shangchen, 2.43 million years ago. China, Xihoudu. So that is before Homo erectus walked out of Africa. There were people who made stone tools 300,000 years earlier, and here 630,000 years before Homo erectus walked out of Africa. So this changes the possibility of the out of Africa theory being correct. It looks more like the out of Asia is the correct one. Okay, so that was Europe and China. Now let's get to Siberia. Up the northeast Siberia in Yakutia. As I went over in an earlier video, it was in daring Yuryak, Yuri Mochanov found stone tools between 1981 and 87. They were tested to be 4.2 million years old, others 3.2 to 1.8 million years. And that led Yuri to suggest that there could be a non-tropical origin for humanity. Oh la la. Some sort, wow, fantastic, like me. Others protested, no way. And so we have had a controversy now ever since. For how many years? 40 years. 40 years of controversy. So now these stone tools have been tested by the Cosmogenic method. An international team were up there testing the age of traces of glaciers to better understand the climate changes and their impact on North Siberia. That was never under kilometers of ice like Europe was. It's simply too dry up there, too little rain, too little snow to create glaciers, except up in the high mountains. So, this team decided to test the age of those controversial stone tools. They did, and very soon their results will be published. Watch out. That should be the end of 40 years of controversy. And the last example, also in Siberia, I talked about in my video, Beautiful Siberia. Here we go. The stone tools that were tested to be 1.4 million that Okladnikov found was tested in 1981 to be 1.4 million years.
В Сибири. Считалось, что здесь человек появился позже, чем в других частях света. Но вот неподалеку от гор Алтайска, на реке Улалинка, Окладников находит стоянку первобытного человека, возраст которой приравнивается к самым древним очагам появления человека на планете. Открытие на Улалинке существенно изменило традиционное представление о времени заселения Северной Азии. Заставило совершенно по-новому взглянуть на процесс становления человечества в целом.
Но чтобы понять, что такое пластина, это для историка, для археолога, нужно вспомнить, что на Ulalinке не было никаких пластин. Там были только булыжники, оббитые с одной или с двух сторон. Ну и предполагать нужно, что и рука-то у улалинца была, ну, примерно в 2 раза шире моей. Это может быть даже и 600-700 на Ulalinке, когда появились люди.
The technology of dating is developing so fast. They can more and more precisely say when, from what age something is.
Вот эти образцы, они взяты из верхнего слоя, который лежит выше уровня культурного. А вот желтые, ярко-желтые
Покажите
образцы,
мне, пожалуйста.
Вот ярко-желтые образцы, эти взяты уже из того слоя, где находится культурный горизонт и находки вот древних орудий.
На уровне 690 тысяч лет лежат наши камни.
Да, они лежат не на уровне, а ниже. То
даже,
есть вот
даже глубже.
Вот эти все камни, образцы, они имеют обратную полярность относительно современного поля, значит, они древнее, чем где-то 700 тысяч лет тому назад.
And he ended up between 1950 and 1980 to come to, it was not 100, 200, it was 700 years old, and then they came to the conclusion, no, they had a new technology and they dated it to 1.4 million. This was from my earlier video, Beautiful Siberia. The 1.4 million dating of the stone tools was actually completed 1981. This was just a few months before Okladnikov died. He was in the hospital and they came to him and told him. So this was a wonderful present to him. Since then, it has been disputed. I hope that these tools Okladnikov found will be tested with the cosmogenic method also. I think we owe it to science and we owe it to Okladnikov, a tremendous pioneer in researching early man in Siberia for 56 years. He did a tremendous amount of work. He also founded the Institute for Archaeology in Novosibirsk, museums, etc., but he was in the field probably 90% of the time. I think we owe it to him too. So this is my recommendation. I hope somebody will get it done. In conclusion, the cosmogenic testing method is changing the face of archaeology. As you can see here, this chart shows here with this line here is Homo Erectus, who walked out of Africa 1.8 million years ago. The yellow ones are stone tools that have been found and tested with the cosmogenic method to be 1.4 million years, Europe, Ukraine. So that is 400 after he walked out, that his ancestor, his children have made stone tools in Ukraine, in Europe. And then here 2.1 million years, China, Shangchen, 2.43 million years ago, China, Xihoudu. So that is before Homo erectus walked out of Africa. There were people who made stone tools 300,000 years earlier, and here 630,000 years before Homo erectus walked out of Africa. Then we have here 4.2 million and 3.2 million Russia, northeast Siberia, they're in Uriak. They have been tested, they were tested with these dates with an earlier method. Now they're being tested with the cosmogenic method, but the result is not yet published, but will be published very soon. This one here was tested with an old method. This is 1.4 million years ago, or old Russia, Ulalinka. And this is the one I very much recommend that we test with the cosmogenic method so that we can find out whether this was actually 1.4 or it was something different. Okay, now the line down here, this is Pliocene, this is Pleistocene. This one got colder and there were ice ages, several, and this one was much warmer. All the references to what I have talked about and mentioned here is in the directives down below. It is now 3 or 4 days later. I came home from a wonderful walk and I decided to make a fast video about the cosmogenic method, the changes that it is creating in archaeology. But it became longer and took more time, so now here we are with the ending. I will make a video on the cosmogenic, what I learned about the cosmogenic method later and post it, but for now, that's the end of this one. And do all those good things like comment, like, share, subscribe, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.